Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Condot Weathersfield Maintenance Garage. My name is Garrett Euclito, Commissioner of the Connecticut Department of Transportation. Obviously, we're here today because of what's to come Sunday and Monday. We're expecting a significant statewide snowfall event, the biggest event in this state in more than a decade, and we here at Condot, we're ready to go. We have over 650 pieces of equipment, more than 900 drivers, and plenty of fuel and salt for the duration of the storm. Yesterday and today, we've been making repairs to equipment, getting trucks fueled up and loaded with materials. Once all that comes in, we'll hit the road in full force once the snow starts. Given the expected length and intensity of the storm, we've placed over 200 contractors on standby to assist us in clearing the roadways. We've also been coordinating with our neighboring states on any potential travel restrictions. We want to make sure that all potential travel restrictions are coordinated across state boundaries, and no decision has been made on any travel bans at this time, but meetings are actively happening throughout the course of today and tomorrow with our peer states. That information will be shared as soon as possible by the governor and by emergency services once decisions are made. Additionally, we expect impacts to public transportation services throughout the state and throughout the region. We're asking travelers to be sure they're opted in for any text and email alerts with their transit providers that they depend on in case there are cancellations and schedule changes. This is going to be a major weather event throughout the Northeast, and unless someone absolutely has to travel, I'm asking, and all of our team at Condot is asking people to please stay off the roads on Sunday. If there is a crash, that person not only puts themselves at risk, they are putting the police, the tow operators, and the Condot crews who are going to respond at risk. The fewer vehicles out on the roads on Sunday will make all of our jobs safer and let us do our job more effectively. We know we're New Englanders, we know how to handle winter weather, but I strongly encourage people to stay home on Sunday. If you're like my family, you put on a pot of sauce, open some wine, and watch some football. But I encourage everyone to think about staying home, not going out on the roads. Travel conditions are going to be treacherous and incredibly difficult on Sunday with the high rate of snowfall. Our plow drivers can't really do their job effectively if there are vehicles stopped on the roadside unable to traverse. If you have no other choice than to travel during the storm, please slow down, maintain extra distance between vehicles, and never crowd our plows. Condot's ready to go, and our crews are not going to head home until the roads are cleared. Our snow and ice crews are the best in the business, and they're going to get the job done. So with that, let me introduce Commissioner Ronnell Higgins.
Thanks, Commissioner. Thanks, Commissioner, and thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Governor, Lieutenant Governor. So the state employees in our 6 divisions of the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection, we're ready to answer the call, but we need your help. As Commissioner Euclito already stated, DOT is ready to go. They're our strongest partners, and they're going to be out there, and they do an amazing job. But if at all possible, if you don't need to be on the roads, stay home. Stay home. The over 900 state troopers within the Connecticut State Police, they're going to be working, they're going to be ready. But in order for them to do their job effectively in an emergency, and in order for the Department of Transportation to do its job, we need residents to stay home and stay off the roads. If you do drive, if you do need to be on the road for any reason, have your headlights on. Have your headlights on, and please stay off your phone. There's going to be enough distractions with the weather. It's going to be slippery out. The visibility may not be good. It's not going to be good. So we need you focused. This is a major weather event that's going to impact not just Connecticut, but the Northeast. So please, please, please use caution if you have to be out. Lastly, and you're going to hear from Deputy Commissioner Bergeron, but I want to just emphasize that the cold weather protocol is in effect. Call 211 if you need assistance. Call 911 in case of an emergency. And if you haven't done so, sign up for the state's early warning system. Just Google CT Alert. That is CT Alert. As we face this prolonged period of cold, snowy weather, make sure you check your carbon dioxide detectors in your home heating system. There's some things that you can do right now within the next 24 hours that can make certain that you're prepared. We're going to ride this out. Thank you.
Next, we have a Division of Emergency Management and Homeland Security Deputy Commissioner Brenda Bergeron.
Thanks, Garrett. Well, good afternoon, everybody. In the old days, we would have said this is just the normal nor'easter that we expect in New England, but as Commissioner Higgins said, this is the first time we've had a storm of this size in probably a decade. So there are many people out there who have not dealt with driving in snow. I reiterate the concept of not driving if you possibly can avoid it. Check your tires. Make sure that if you do have to go out, you have warm supplies in your car, because not only are we looking at a very large snowstorm, but we also are looking at very cold temperatures starting really this evening and running all the way through next Wednesday. So that's when the cold weather protocol is in effect. You can go to the 211 website and look for shelters, and if you need assistance in transportation or in finding a shelter, you can call 211 as well. I want to suggest that you make sure that you have enough fuel, food, water, and medications for 3 days. Be prepared. Think about yourself as well as your pets and the rest of your family. Don't keep pets outside very long. The weather will be very cold. If at all possible, do the things that the commissioner said, which is to plan to stay home, check your oil burner, check whatever you have for alternate heat sources, and use those safely. Run a generator at least 20 feet away from your house. Make sure that anything you're using to warm, if for some reason the electricity goes out, that you're using something that's well ventilated. We have been in close contact with our utility partners. Right now, talking to the National Weather Service and the other weather folks that we have within state service, this does not look like it's going to be a large power outage event, but it's always good to be prepared just in case. The other thing I want to mention is have that first aid kit in standby in your car if you're going outside, because you may be stuck for a while if you go out during the height of the storm. Clear and salt your walkways. That's, we see people every year falling and hurting themselves during storms like this. And probably one of the big things that I suspect the governor will reiterate as well is check in on your vulnerable neighbors, particularly the elderly or people that live alone. Do they have enough food and water? Do they have enough to keep themselves warm? When my parents live in Newtown and it's very cold there sometimes, and so I made sure they had sleeping bags that were the kind you could use if they were on Mount Everest, which they were not, but they could keep warm if the electricity went out. From a DEMIS perspective, from a Division of Emergency Management and Homeland Security's perspective, our regional coordinators have reached out to every municipality and tribal nation and had conversations with them on their readiness and what we can do. Our regional coordinators stand ready to assist any municipality with any issue that they have. With that being said, I'll turn it back over to Commissioner Ucalita.
Next, Lieutenant Governor Susan Beisowitz.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today I wanted to focus on what each of us can do to keep ourselves and our families and our neighbors safe in this dangerous storm that's coming. If you are able, please, please, please do not travel on Sunday. Do not get on the road, and if you can stay off the roads early Monday as well. It will give our DOT crews an opportunity to clear the roads. If you are on the road, please, please, please do be careful and make sure you give the plows wide berth. Preparing now and limiting travel will make a real difference for everyone. So if you need groceries, if you need water, please go do those errands to get medication or necessities before the snow starts. And again, if you must travel, please slow down and avoid distractions. Do not drive under the influence, and stay off your phone if you are driving in inclement weather. Please check on family members and neighbors who are elderly or who live alone or who are vulnerable. Anyone can be vulnerable in the extreme cold, so please text or call neighbors. I do also want to remind everyone that our state has activated the severe weather protocol. So if you need shelter or you know someone that needs shelter, please call 211. We are looking at sub-zero temperatures that can be extremely dangerous, but 211 can find you a warm place to stay. I want to thank all of our state and local partners for everything that they are going to be doing over the next several days to keep us all safe. And thank you especially to our DOT crews and to our law enforcement.
Governor Ned Lamont.
So, Weather Channel often hypes up these storms. This is the real McCoy, and I want you to pay special attention. Within about 48 hours, everybody's talking about Greenland. Within about 48 hours, Connecticut's going to look like Greenland. Bitter cold and 12, 18 inches of snow. And we know what we're doing. We've been through this before. You heard Garrett describe, we got 650 plows ready to go, 900 drivers. These guys are going to be going on 12-hour shifts. Leave them alone. Stay off the road. Let them get the job done. Hopefully this is not doesn't look like it's a wet snow. There are no leaves on the trees. We'd like to think there's not going to be as much electrical damage as you've seen in years past, but there's still 250 crews on standby by the utilities ready to protect you as well. So stay safe, stay home, stay off the roads, prepare, go to the grocery store, get some eggs, get some milk, get some beer, get some pizza, whatever you do for football. Stay home on Sunday, and please don't open up any stores or anything that day, and probably even Monday morning. You'll hear alerts along the way. And on a personal note, I wanted to say that Connecticut, we know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. You heard from the folks behind me. Brenda Bergeron's been doing this for 37 years on behalf of the state. Brenda's seen the worst of the worst, from Sandy, ICA, and everything in between. And this is going to be her last big storm is leading this operation. I want to say from the bottom of our heart, on behalf of the people of Connecticut, thank you for everything you've done.
Questions?
Governor, do you expect to have to call in the National Guard to supplement the response to recovery efforts?
So just so that I understand the question, do we expect to have to call in the National Guard to help with the recovery efforts from the storm? So we're in regular contact with General Yvonne on a regular basis. If in fact we have to do that, we will coordinate a response with our Deputy Commissioner and her team in the Connecticut National Guard, but right now it's too soon to tell.
Commissioner, can you comment on the contingent you're having with other states, either whether there's transportation and trucks coming in, Connecticut has in the past, part-time bans, full-time bans, what's happening there?
Yeah, so we are in communication with our peer states to try and coordinate those types of bans and restrictions. The last thing you want to do is have one state and they institute a ban or restriction and your neighboring state not, and then all the traffic will back up at the border. So we have calls today, we're going to have calls tomorrow, and we're going to aim for a regional-wide coordinated approach to that. But there should be more information tomorrow on a final decision there.
Commissioner, can you run down the numbers again? You said 650 plows, 900 drivers, but then I think you mentioned you have an additional 200?
Yeah, so during a storm event, what we do is we have on-call contractors to support and supplement our own conduct crews. So we have over 200 contractors notified that they are expected to show up when we place the call, probably first thing Sunday morning before the snow starts.
Okay, and that's on top of the 900 drivers?
Yes, yeah.
And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, the governor just said 250 electrical crews, utility crews?
Yep, utility crews, yep.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Are those resources concentrated in any particular district of DOT or region of the state?
They're spread out across the entire state. We have 4 districts, and so each garage, this garage here, has a certain contingent of crew, and they know the roads in their garage district, and so it's spread out across the state. And they continue to work their roads and their coverage that they're responsible for, and we'll deploy the contractors based on where we think the needs are. So if the northwest corner is going to see more snow, then those crews are going to be working until those roads are clear.
Can you tell us what DOT is doing today and tomorrow to prepare the roads?
So we are not going out and pre-treating the roads. We don't believe there's a need to do that because the roads already have quite a bit of salt residue on them already from we were just out there the other night for snow that came down. So what generally our crews have been doing today is preparing all the equipment, making sure all the equipment is in tip-top shape. We don't want it breaking down when we're out there. Also loading materials, getting everything ready to go, because we want them to use Saturday to rest, because the moment a few hours before the snow starts on Sunday morning, they'll get called in and they will work probably, 36, 48 hours before they see home again. And so we want them to have Saturday off to rest and get ready for that.
Municipalities are doing the same.
Yes.
The forecast range is pretty wide. Can you talk about, from an operational snow perspective, the difference between a 10-inch storm and an 18-inch storm, how that impacts plowing?
They keep going. Really, the big thing is going to be clearing it after the fact. So as it piles up on the shoulders and other places, we do the cleanup. So once the lanes are really plowed down to pavement and you see blacktop, then we can come out and do the cleanup as well. And so they're going to have to go through and clear all of it off the shoulders and do from shoulder to shoulder completely clear. 10 to 18 inches should be the same, especially if it's the fluffy snow. I don't want to talk for John and the team here because they're the pros, but it is a difference when you talk 4 inches to 10 inches. That's a difference. And especially the rate of snow. So 2 inches per hour, our plows can't keep up with that. And so we go out there, we keep going, but then we do have to take rest breaks. So there'll be times when our crews come back for a rest break, and then they're going to have to get back out there and start hitting it again. So.
It's been a while since Connecticut has had a big storm, and sometimes we think it's going to be worse than it is, or less, and so people may have a false sense of security, right? They may think, I've been told before this is going to be bad, and it's not so bad. But you said no.
Yeah, I think people get complacent. They forget, right, what it's like to have a storm like this come through in Connecticut. They really need to remember that we have had bad storms in the past. It's not fun to be stuck out there on the highway when snow is coming down at this rate, and their vehicles. They often overestimate the ability of their vehicles. I imagine a lot of people probably don't even have snow tires because they haven't had a big storm in a while. So some newer drivers have never gone through this. Thankfully, we have a lot of veterans on our team who have gone through this. They've been telling the newbies on our team to get ready because it's coming. Yeah, we encourage everyone to take this one seriously because yes, we think we are New Englanders, we know how to drive in the snow, but when it's coming down 2 inches per hour, that's very different from a normal 2 to 3 inch total snowfall.
Governor, with the activating the Emergency Operations
as needed.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you.